A24 has built itself a reputation of supporting films that dance to their own unique beat. From environmental issues,
God forgive us for what we've done to this world.
Who can know the mind of God?
family drama,
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
and even a deteriorating relationship.
How long have you two been together?
Just over 3.5 years.
4 years.
Really?
Yeah?
A24 produced films take tried and true concept and brings them into something fresh. This became the foundation to my obsession with the ghost story. A ghost story is just that, a story centered around a ghost. Director David Lowery documents the ghost of a recently deceased and his journey in the afterlife. In A24 fashion, the ghost isn't simply used as a means to frighten the audience. Today I want to talk about 3 things that A24 does to create a more meaningful ghost. From the plot, the way the ghost should look, and its thematic ideas of life and death, all that go into a perfectly written ghost. The plot in a ghost story helps the ghost tell its journey and grow. The plot here doesn't involve a montage of jump scares or set pieces of suspense. Instead, we can learn a great deal when we take a look at its plot. An important element in the film is the sense of time. The first half of the film includes long scenes of seemingly insignificant moments. Many attribute these scenes to nothing more than filler that drag on too long. But maybe that's the point.
I wanted the passage of time to be very palpable and for audiences to be very aware of it. I wanted the audience to feel as if they were seeing something they shouldn't be seeing, and I wanted the length of time at which they had to spend in these private moments to be discomforting. It keeps going on, and eventually it breaks you down. Hopefully. It breaks you down and you start to understand time in a different way.
The pie scene is a perfect example of this breaking down to better understand time. The entire scene clocks in around 9 minutes. It becomes uncomfortable to watch Rooney's character gorge down a pie out of grief. We become trapped with anxiety, and the only thing we want is for the next scene to play out. We ask ourselves, why am I watching this? When will it end? But it sits. And that's where I believe lies the insight. These scenes remind us of the therapeutic properties of moving forward, both in regards to time and life. The film suggests that being static goes against our nature of moving forward. It's a small reminder that time can both trap us and heal us.
Fold them up really small, and I would hide them.
So how should this type of ghost look like? In the past, ghosts are represented as simple, opaque humans or ghoulish monsters. Here we have a simple bedsheet over Casey Affleck to visually communicate a ghost, but it wasn't enough. David Lowery explains it was still too human.
And has a lot of Halloween costume attributes to it. It still needed to feel ethereal and needed to feel like a phantom and needed to have a spiritual side to it. And so we needed to remove the humanity from underneath it in the same way that when you look through the eyes, you don't see any eyes back there, it's just darkness.
This balancing act between life and death is a perfect way to communicate the concept of a ghost. After all, it may be a dead entity, but traits of its humanity still hold on. Reducing a ghost to a bedsheet coupled with methodical movements gets the point across without becoming a distraction. But the bedsheet also carries with it a utility.
Like humor is a wonderful gateway. It's a gateway emotion, and once you've laughed at it, the movie starts putting all these other emotions and applying them into onto that ghost's face and into the world around him. And
we relate and connect to the ghost through humor. Laughing at the silliness of the ghost gives us permissions to the feelings of sadness, grief, pity, anger, and so on. These feelings all come out organically through laughter. At first, some may scoff at the idea of a bed-sheeted ghost, but surprisingly, it's the humor of the bedsheet that invites us on a roller coaster of emotions. But what's a good ghost story without a theme? Something we can take away and ponder well after its viewing. A ghost story offers us the idea of detaching ourselves from the things we hold so close. The hardships of letting go. We walk through life tightly holding on to things like our first home.
What is it you like about this house so much?
History?
Or our partner. But sometimes we become debilitated when they are gone. A ghost story tells us that new journeys require a sense of acceptance and letting go from a previous life.
The point of the movie is learning what one needs to do in order to move on in life. Not just in death, but in life. And in this movie, he needs to let go. He needs to let go of sentimentality and his attachment to things.
Once the ghost reads his wife's note, he gives himself permission to let go. So maybe what it takes to move on from our paralyzing attachments is something as simple as reading a note. Netflix's The Haunting of Hill House also takes a similar route of creating story-driven specters, something I touch on in a previous video. The ghost in a ghost story is not a means to scare the audience, but there's definitely a place and time for that. A ghost story takes its time on elements to tell a story. It builds a world that complements the characteristics of a ghost. Its appearance is focused without becoming a distraction. And, ironically, exploring the afterlife ultimately helps us, the living. In the end, it sends a message and offers the perspective of letting go, that only a ghost can. Hey there, Tony here. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like and share. It helps me out immensely. Also, check out these other videos and subscribe for more.